What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of the Red Brand, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including, is Paige considering a WWE return? Vince McMahon can rot in hell, says WWE legend. Are the New Day finally breaking up? What you didn't see on Raw, Pat McAfee says goodbye for now, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. As always, we won't recap the show, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as another solid Raw. A Raw delivered 3 thrilling hours of TV, beginning with a strong segment involving Randy Orton and Gunther and ending with another one. In between, the WWE built up TV storylines and hyped up Bash in Berlin, with everything flowing smoothly from one segment to another. Number 2, The Miz keeps it real. Why would The Miz wrestle a dangerous opponent in a no DQ match? Our fans got their explanation, and a sensible one at that, when the A-lister told Adam Pearce he doesn't have many friends. A nice nod to The Miz's record of betraying so many tag partners, but he fights for the one he has. This was another example of how to set things up with a few sentences rather than a lengthy promo or convoluted segment. Number 3, good to see the women's tag titles defended. Last night's triple threat for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship was an encouraging sign for the Unholy Union's tag title reign, as had been largely incognito since capturing the belts at Clash at the Castle. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire need more matches to avoid ending up look like Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, whose tag title reign did nothing to elevate them. Number 4, big build up for Bash in Berlin. Bash in Berlin is just less than 2 weeks away, and the WWE made sure to get fans hyped up for every match from the Red Brand last night, with beatdowns and confrontations that sparked fans' interest for more, proving there's still a place for the booking philosophy of giving fans on TV the sizzle and made them tune into the PLEs for the steak. Number 5, an emotional send-off for Pat McAfee. Emotion is a key component of wrestling, whether it's nostalgia, disgust with a heel, or here, fondness of a wrestling personality. Although Pat McAfee's announcing isn't for everyone, he's become one of WWE's true treasures. A legitimate entertainer on the microphone and in the ring, although his in-ring work should continue to be minimal. Giving him a send-off with a hype video until he returns this January was a feel-good moment that the fans enjoyed. Number 6, CM Punk Drew McIntyre Feud of the Year continues. Wrestling's Feud of the Year continued last night as CM Punk challenged Drew McIntyre to a strap match at Bash in Berlin, with both men playing mind games to further their feud. Punk's claim that Drew loves and hates Punk added an extra level to the feud, and fans will likely be paying close attention to if this is developed further. And number 7, Ivy Nile vs Nikki could be interesting. Now, the Wyatt Six have caught the WWE Universe's attention, but what of the group's fearsome female Nikki Cross? Judging from last night's confrontation, fans will see Nikki Cross do something besides skulk about ringside and deliver VHS tapes. Cross is another of the WWE's underutilized female talents, and a program with Nile can deliver. The key is making Nile fear Cross for what she brings to the ring rather than the smoke and mirrors driving a horror gimmick. That was a good. What about the bad? Is number 1, Sheamus vs Pete Dunne. Killing time is rarely a good reason for a feud. A rare is the occasion when two wrestlers or teams should feud for no other reason than to kill time, and Sheamus vs Pete Dunne isn't it. While Dunne's British strong-style partner Tyler Bate is currently out with an injury, the feud with Sheamus has been a bit of a flop. The WWE's creative team has come a long way from senseless storylines, so it's confusing why the WWE isn't booking Sheamus and Dunne in a program that uses them better. In Sheamus' case, he should be elevating talent, while Dunne should be getting a chance for a singles push. That was nothing downright ugly, another solid Raw, and as we noted last week, how Raw fares in the ratings once Monday Night Football resumes will say a lot about how much the WWE fans are invested in the product as opposed to watching it until something better comes along. But what do you guys think of the Red Brand last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at Paige considering a WWE return. Atop of today's news is the question of whether the WWE Universe could witness the return of Saraya, aka former superstar Paige. Fightful Select reports that the former Anti-Diva's current deal with AEW is believed to end in September. While the report notes there are unanswered questions about options, that is, whether AEW and or Saraya has the right to extend the contract, it added that the two sides are discussing what's next for her. A ringside news reminded fans of Paige's WWE exit. When Saraya left WWE in 2022, she had a conversation with Triple H, during which it was indicated that the door remained open for a possible return. though a departure was a decision made by the previous regime. Saraya started off strong in AEW, forming a faction, the Outcasts, with Toni Storm and Ruby Soho before she faded into the background. While Saraya won the AEW Women's Championship, her reign was brief, and there's a case to be made that she's been lost in the shuffle like so many other former WWE talents. Do you think Saraya will return to WWE if she's free to do so? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Vince can rot in hell, says WWE legend. Bret Hart still considers the night he punched Vince McMahon in the face as the sweetest punch he's ever thrown. The Hitman said during an appearance on the Attitude Era podcast, "It was the sweetest punch I ever threw. I wouldn't change anything about it, and Vince McMahon can rot in hell." Hart, who at one point seemed to have forgiven McMahon for their fractured friendship following the events at 97 Survivor Series, seems like he's renewed his animosity towards McMahon. Whether this has something to do with the allegations made against Vince by Janelle Grant, or it's just another example of Bret's mercurial mood, is unknown. Next up, the real reason ex-WWE stars haven't signed with AEW. A former NXT UK Tag Team Champions, grizzled young veterans of James Drake and Zach Gibson are free agents who wrestled in AEW and TNA Wrestling since leaving WWE. However, some fans are surprised AEW hasn't signed them, especially since AEW seems to sign anyone with a pulse who has worked in WWE. However, Fightful Select Sean Ross Sapp has a possible reason the team haven't gone all elite. Grizzled young veterans are the big ones. I know they were far apart on money. Would you guys like to see the former NXT UK Tag Team Champions in AEW? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, a WWE icon praises Dominik Mysterio. There's big praise for Dominik Mysterio's work, and even more so when you consider who's giving it, none other than the dead man himself, The Undertaker. The Phenom recently talked up Dirty Dom's performance during his podcast, saying, "How about Dominik though? Dude, is he not killing it? No, he doesn't have to wrestle. That's the great thing about it. He ain't getting beat up. He's just gotta be Dom, man." Dirty Dom has got himself over as a heel that all he has to do is show up and fans boo him. Taker continued his assessment saying, "Dom is a heat-seeking magnet. Just the addition of the super mullet and the horrible moustache, oh my gosh. Then you have Liv hanging all over him. With someone, it's gonna have to blow up in his face, or both their faces obviously. But yeah, you got the two people with the most heat in the same angle." Unfortunately, Dominik isn't wrestling in the era of kayfabe, where fans become enraged to the point of frequently attacking wrestlers, including on their way to and from the ring and in the parking lot. Next up, big praise given to Liv Morgan. And Dirty Dom isn't the only Judgment Day member getting accolades. Liv Morgan's work continues to impress WWE management, as WrestleVotes tweet lists Liv Morgan as a standout, as well as some other interesting reports. Here are a few notes from last night's Raw according to a source. The company has a lot of praise for the South Florida crowd, who were very strong for most of the night. The CM Punk promo came across well, highlighting the importance of WWE's involvement with Fanatics Fest. Another standout moment was Liv Morgan's performance during the Judgment Day's attack. Her intensity resonated backstage with many. The WWE has wisely presented Morgan as a threat to Rhea Ripley by portraying her as a typical cowardly heel who waits for a moment to strike, and then relentlessly punishes her foe. It's no coincidence that her style matches that of her kayfabe lover Dominik, and it's added another layer to Morgan's heel character, arguably her best ever work in WWE. Next up, the New Day ready to split? Is the WWE going to do the unthinkable and split up the New Day? The WWE has teased tension between New Day founders Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods over the last several weeks, and things intensified last night. Xavier questioned if Kofi was trying to replace Biggie with Odyssey Jones, but seemed to understand Kofi's explanation that he just wanted to help a rookie out. However, Xavier seemed borderline angry during their six-man tag match against the Final Testament when Kofi tagged in Jones rather than Woods. This storyline has fans buzzing about whether the WWE will finally break up the long-running group, or whether this is a way to rebuild them with Jones at their side. After 10 years, is it finally time to split up the New Day? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, what you didn't see on Raw. Our fans know Randy Orton can hit an RKO out of nowhere, but the Viper gave Gunther a painful reminder after Raw went off the air, delivering an RKO to the World Heavyweight Champion and making it clear the Ring General is in for a hellacious battle in Berlin. And finally, Pat McAfee says goodbye. And last but not least, Pat McAfee took time after Raw to let the fans in attendance know when he's returning to the broadcast booth. Talking to the fans after the show, McAfee took to social media to let the fans know he'll be stepping away for a bit. Are you going to miss Pat McAfee on Raw? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.